Let's have the courage.
On the Brody File this week, he's a popular governor, and he may be getting ready for a run at the presidency. We've got Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal with us.
I think this president's policies have been awful for America.
Plus, an anti-God Bill Maher is at it again.
This is a stupid country when 60% of the adults in it think the Noah's Ark story is literally true.
The Brody File will trot out the gospel for Mr. Maher. Also, we go pop-litical as Brody File contributor Amber Strong combines pop culture and politics like, would you rather sit through a congressional climate control filibuster or a Justin Bieber deposition?
No Justin Bieber deposition for you.
Don't think I could live through that. Sorry.
The Brody File raring to go, and we're on across America. Let's go. And welcome everybody to another edition of the Brody File. Well, look, we have a Mardi Gras edition of the Brody File. Don't worry, this is the clean version. We're a family-friendly show after all. Cue the music. Can we cue the music? Brody File band leader. There we are. We're in Louisiana, and we're in that type of mood because this week we have an interview with the governor of the Bayou State, Bobby Jindal. Look, Louisiana, full of lots of things. Mardi Gras, stifling humidity, bad for the Brody File hair. Great, yes, very great food and all that, but they also have a very popular governor. You know, Jindal is getting rave reviews down there because of his fiscal discipline and innovative programs on health care, school vouchers, and many more. So here are some of our exclusive conversations with Jindal. You have been very vocal about this, that the Republican Party cannot become this party of no and must articulate these ideas. How does this party go forward on those ideas, and what needs to be right at the forefront here?
You know, we have to have the courage of our convictions. And one of the topics I've talked about today, for example, is school choice, education reform, so that every child has a chance to pursue their dreams. There are really two different visions of the American dream. The president wants us to believe it's all about redistribution, about slow economic growth, about a bigger government, more taxes, more borrowing, more spending, becoming more like Europe. That's not our vision. Our vision is that the American dream is that every child should have the opportunity to do even better than their parents if they're willing to work hard and get a great education. There are other issues. I think, for example, on energy, we need to do more on talking about how energy production leads to a manufacturing boom. On other issues, like, for example, healthcare, we need to talk specifically about how we replace Obamacare, not just repeal it, but replace it. But you're exactly right. Let's have the courage of our convictions. Let's not just be the party of no.
What do you make of this president? And that's an open-ended question, but let me narrow it down a little bit. There are a lot of folks that are very concerned about where America is going. And how much do you believe this president is responsible for a lot of that? And what kind of grade might you give him in this first and second term?
Look, I think this president's policies have been awful for America. Our debt is now over $17 trillion. He's raised taxes. Every year they keep telling us, help is on the way. It's not here today, it's coming tomorrow. All that means is it's not coming today. It doesn't mean it's coming tomorrow. Here's what I worry about. I think we can recover from the debt. I think we can recover from the high taxes and the regulatory costs. What I worry about? And what I worry about is there's a new normal out there, and after so many years of his policies, people are beginning to accept 2% economic growth as a recovery. We're beginning to accept a diminished America on the foreign stage. We've outsourced our foreign policy to Putin. We're beginning to accept the slow decaying of our culture. That's not the new normal. America can do better than that.
Let me ask you the obligatory 2016 question. Look, you're a data-driven guy. You're logical in your arguments. What data will go into the calculation, if you will, the Bobby Jindal, the Governor Jindal calculation when thinking about running for president?
Look, I'd say a couple of things. One, we've got to be exclusively focused on 2014 right now. 36 governor's races, most we'll see in 4 years, the House and the Senate up for control, a lot of other local races. I'm involved with the RGA, helping elect Republican governors across the country. I think it's very, very important. In terms of what I think we need to be doing politically, I think we need to win the war of ideas. I've actually formed an organization to focus exclusively on not elections, not be a super PAC. It's called America Next. It's all about saying, here are our detailed ideas on education, on energy, on healthcare, on higher education, on innovation in the economy. You started, and I think you're exactly right. I've said we can't be the party of no, and the president likes to caricaturize. He likes to say, oh, the other side doesn't have any ideas. He likes to make it a contest of personalities. He can't defend his record. But the reality is he's not going to be on the next ballot. And so we need to win the war of ideas, not only because I think it's the path forward to us being a majority, a governing party, but also, secondly, if we really think these issues are so important for America, if we think we're at a critical tipping point, we owe it to have that discussion with the American people.
That is Governor Bobby Jindal here on the Brody File. By the way, speaking of governors, can we show you this picture? We want you to check this out. That's a deer jumping in front of Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval out in Carson City, Nevada. This story, by the way, has no redeeming value whatsoever. We just think it's a pretty cool JPEG picture, so we decided to spend 15 seconds on the story. Sorry for the short diversion. All right, let's continue now with the show and tell you about who is the leading Republican presidential hopeful. And in 2016, this field is wide open. So cue the salsa music. Do we have any salsa music? Anyhow, Rand Paul, that liberty-loving, leaning libertarian, is on top with 16% support from Republicans. And Paul Ryan clocks in at 15%, Rick Perry 11%, and then Mike Huckabee at 10%. The Brody File, by the way, finishing at 0.00001% or something like that. Mom, by the way, I appreciate the vote. All right, coming next, time to get pop-litical. Oh, it's where pop culture meets politics. The newest member of our team, Amber Strong, debuts her new segment. There she is, next.
You had a grandpa named Pop, right?
He died when I was your age.
I saw him in heaven.
What if an ordinary boy
Is this him?
That's Pop.
Your son had a near-death experience.
discovered the answer to life's most extraordinary question?
Do you think my son went to heaven?
He told me everything was all right.
Based on the incredible true story.
We all want to be supportive.
I want to believe him. But everything he talks about is impossible.
Will you believe?
You saw heaven? It's beautiful.
Heaven is for real. See it this Easter. Rated PG.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root, former presidential candidate, conservative national media personality, best-selling author, and true blue patriot. I call what we're living in today the Great Depression 2. More Americans now receive government entitlements than work full-time. The typical family earns less today than in 1989. I understand exactly what's happening to this economy and how you can protect yourself. So I sat down and taped a 30-minute DVD on the topic with all the critical steps needed to ensure Americans can both survive and thrive in 2014. It's called The Timeless Truth About Money. And it's only available in this special TV offer by calling the number below or by visiting online. Thanks to Swiss America, you'll finally understand the true goal of Obamacare, how our trillions in debt will sink the economy, and most importantly, why your golden years require a whole new golden strategy. Call now.
Start planning your journey to the Holy Land. Come to Jerusalem. Breathe the air Jesus breathed that very night in the Garden of Gethsemane. Walk in his footsteps to Golgotha. Step inside the tomb. See the stone where his body lay. Glory to God, he is risen. Ask your pastor or visit goisrael.com to learn more about making the journey that will transform your faith in God and his word. Experience Israel. You'll never be the same.
And welcome back to the Brody File. All right, look, I am really excited about this next segment. We've got a new feature to introduce, so we're mixing politics and pop culture. The lines have always been a bit blurred. I mean, remember Bill Clinton playing the saxophone on Arsenio Hall? Or how about Barack Obama slow jamming the news?
More expensive for our young people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, this week we bring you the newest member of our Brody File team, and we mix it up. We mix pop culture and politics together. It's a new recurring segment on the Brody File that we like to call Pop-litical with Amber.
It seems these days that celebrities walk the line to become politicians and politicians walk the line of celebrity. So here on Pop-litical, we combine the two. Senate Democrats sat through an all-night discussion on climate control. Similarly, Justin Bieber sat through a 4-hour deposition. Take a look.
Remember being in Australia ever?
I don't know if I've been to Australia. I've been to Australia? I don't know, Katie Couric, you tell me.
Are you calling me Katie Couric?
No.
Is this a news interview for you? It's not, it's your deposition, do you understand that?
So on Pop-litical, we like to pop the question. If you had to do one or the other, what would you choose?
I would choose the climate change for sure.
That was a pretty quick answer.
Yep.
No Justin Bieber deposition for you.
Don't think I could live through that. Sorry.
Climate control. Climate control.
Absolutely.
Yeah, climate control, absolutely. You've had an overwhelming response for climate control today.
This is Ban Bossy. Take one.
Pushy. Stubborn. Stubborn. Pushy. Pushy. Stubborn. Stubborn. Bossy. 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 Bossy.
So the point of this movement was to ban the word bossy when it comes to powerful women. So we had to ask you, if you had to ban one word from the English language, what would it be and why? If you could ban one word from the English language, what would you use?
I'd say retarded.
So what, if you need to educate people as a med student, what word should people be using instead?
Intellectual disabilities. That's the consensus.
Yeah. See, we're learning things. We're learning, and that's what it's about.
Could I pick two words?
You can pick 2 words.
I would ban Republican and Democrat.
Finally this week on Pop-litical, the conservative group Friends of Abe was giving nonprofit exempt status. The group started about 10 years ago as a means of bringing conservative people in Hollywood a place to fellowship. Key members of the past include John Voight, Kelsey Grammer, and Dave Brody. Well, maybe not yet. Back to you.
Yeah, like I'm part of that group. Wait, she's making stuff up. That's not true. Amber, thank you very much. A welcome addition to the team. We're looking forward to your next Pop-litical segment. All right, well, look, here's something we don't look forward to. Liberal atheist, or he actually is agnostic. He's a comedy talk show host, Bill Maher, and he's waxing poetic about something he knows nothing about, the Bible. Watch him talk about the biblical story of Noah, and in the process, insult God and tens of millions of Christians.
I say this is a stupid country when 60% of the adults in it think the Noah's Ark story is literally true. I mean, seriously, people, you believe a man, Noah, lived to be 900 years old. That's what the Bible says. And when he was 500, he decided to have 3 kids, just like Clint Eastwood. And when he was 600, he and his 3 100-year-old sons built a boat onto which, in one day, they loaded over 3 million animals, all of which were apparently indigenous to within 5 miles of the boat. But the thing that's really disturbing about Noah isn't the silly. It's that it's immoral. It's about a psychotic mass murderer who gets away with it, and his name is God. Genesis says God was so angry with himself for screwing up when he made mankind so flawed that he sent the flood to kill everyone, men, women, children, babies. What kind of tyrant punishes everyone just to get back at the few he's mad at? I mean, besides Chris Christie.
Look, I know the whole thing makes you sick to your stomach. I'm sorry to show you that, but look, this does call for a Brody File commentary. Well, first of all, memo to Bill Maher. God is God, and that means he can do whatever he wants, anytime he wants, for any reason he wants. He doesn't answer to Bill Maher or me or anybody. Now, do I have all the answers when it comes to Noah and the Ark? No, of course not. It's called a miracle by God. God can suspend natural order to do whatever he wants, even if Bill Maher can't understand it. But if Bill wants some scientific proof, he can go to this really cool thing. It's called Google, and he can see it for himself. You know, most scientists actually agree that there is ample evidence of a universal flood dating to Noah's time. I mean, look it up, Bill. It's everywhere. And by the way, many of those scientists are liberals. I mean, those are your peeps. Oh, and by the way, 60% of people in America believe the story of Noah's Ark is actually true. That puts you in the minority. But at least that's a better place to be than hell. And unfortunately, that is the location, Bill, that you're heading unless you repent and give your life over to Jesus. And I mean, look, Bill, he loves you. He loves me. He loves every viewer watching this show. Think about that, Bill, for a moment. I mean, because you said some horrible, blasphemous things about God Almighty, and yet he still loves you. He wants you in his kingdom, despite what you say about him. That is called love. It's called true love. We have another word for it. It's called grace. The choice is yours, Bill. I mean, look, your comedy might crack up an audience in Los Angeles, but it doesn't amuse God. he is an audience of one, and he's going to have the final say. We know how the story ends for each one of us when our life is over, because Jesus says, every knee will bow before me and every tongue will acknowledge God. It's going to happen, Bill. It's your choice if it happens now or after you die, and my prayer is that you choose now. Back in a moment.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
And welcome back to the Brody File. There is a big argument going down at the Supreme Court, but then again, when is there not an argument at the Supreme Court? This case, though, is of particular interest to the faith community. In fact, the Brody File likes to call this religious liberty versus the president's health care plan. The Christian-owned company Hobby Lobby lobbied the Supreme Court to free it from an Obamacare mandate which forces the company to cover contraceptives that kill or face massive fines. Now, the owners of Hobby Lobby say that goes against their religious beliefs. Others argue that a company doesn't have religious rights and it should be forced to comply. Of course, we're going to be following this story closely. We'll let you know what the court decides. All right, well, look, it's no secret the Bible is the #1 most read book in the world for the past 50 years. I mean, there have been 3.9 billion copies read. That's a lot of Bibles. Well, have you ever wondered what is the most popular version? It's the King James Version, believe it or not. That's right, a new survey suggests that 55% of Americans who read the Bible prefer the King James Version. 45% of Bible translation-related searches on Google use the King James Version. This, by the way, according to a new survey by the Center for the Study of Religion and American Culture at Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. Say that 3 times quickly in a row. Can you do that? Do not ask the Brody File to do that. We can't even do it. We can't even do it once. By the way, here's a bit of Brody File trivia for you. Almost every American president has been sworn into office with his hand on a King James Bible. Did you like King James Bible? All right, when we come back, he's a Christian and a Democrat. What? Are you kidding? Okay, no, it's true. We go one-on-one with Arkansas Senator Mark Pryor.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need, just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
All right, we're back on the Brody File. Time now to talk about being vulnerable. I don't mean the Dr. Phil kind of vulnerable where you need to confess all your personal feelings. I'm talking about vulnerable Democrats. Let's face it, if you're a Democrat and you're running for re-election, oh boy, you're vulnerable. Polls consistently show that Obamacare, not popular, newsflash, with a majority of Americans, and Democrats voted for it when it passed a couple of years ago, and that could have major political implications in this year's upcoming midterm elections. The Affordable Care Act may be known as Obamacare, but for Democrats seeking re-election, it's becoming more like Obama scare. Case in point, Democrat Alex Sink got sunk by Republican challenger David Jolly during a special election in Florida last week.
Wow. Wow.
Jolly campaigned on repealing Obamacare and won. Sink embraced Obamacare and lost. That is the big challenge for Democrats running for re-election up here on Capitol Hill. They all voted for Obamacare, but now they're trying to distance themselves from it. And if they don't, they may not be up here next year. Democrats currently control the Senate, but Republicans could take over by picking up 6 seats. Their strategy? Focus on Democrats from conservative states who voted for Obamacare. They include Alaska Senator Mark Begich, Kay Hagan in North Carolina, Mary Landrieu in Louisiana, Mark Udall in Colorado, and the vulnerable Mark Pryor down in Arkansas.
I know we have a ton of outside money that is coming in against me right now. They're going to say all kinds of things and try to convince people that I'm really not the kind of senator they wanted over the last 12 years. But the truth is I have a great relationship with the state. There's a trust relationship there.
Conservative groups are questioning that trust, with ads reminding voters that Pryor backed Obamacare and that it's hurting folks in Arkansas.
We received a letter from our insurance company as of December of 2014 that we would no longer be covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Pryor says he understands the frustration.
I've been frustrated with the rollout, no question about that. I know people in Arkansas are frustrated with it. You know, that was a hard piece of legislation to pass.
Pryor agrees changes need to be made, but he's sticking by the controversial law.
If you get 80% of it right, you've really done something. And I think we did get a lot of it right. I don't know if we did 80%, 90%, 70%, I don't know, but we got a lot of it right. But there's still, it's far from perfect.
From the beginning, Obamacare has been under a dark cloud. First, the website crashed, then came the policy cancellations that refuted President Obama's promise that Americans could keep their health care insurance, and the list goes on. One top House Democrat doesn't believe Obamacare will become the party's death knell.
How do Democrats take control back of the House, and can it be doable in this climate of everybody trying to bash Obamacare?
Well, I do think that Democrats will pick up additional seats in the House. The question, of course, is whether you can get to the magic number 17, which is what Democrats need to get the majority in the House. And look, there's a lot of time between now in November, politically speaking. A lot can change.
Will these Democrats turn to the president for help during their campaigns? His popularity is sinking fast.
Whether or not the president campaigns in person in every district of the country, is something both the president will decide whether he has time to do it and whether or not, members make that request.
Right now, the request from vulnerable Democrats is to figure out how not to get sunk by Obamacare. Well, look, one of the Democrats you saw in that piece was Mark Pryor from Arkansas. During our interview with him, he actually talked about his Christian faith. A lot of conservative Christian folks think you can't be a Democrat and be a real believer. I'm just saying it, all right? But Pryor is more of a moderate Democrat. We talked to him about all of this on the Hill.
Just as a basic premise, neither the Democratic Party platform nor the Republican Party platform really matches up well with the Bible. It's a mix and match, kind of pick and choose type of thing. I became a Christian back in high school. I don't really have a date, but I kind of went through a process in high school, and some time along the line, probably my junior or senior year, probably more likely, I really sort of crossed over. And then it's just been a big thing for me ever since. I couldn't tell you how many Bible studies I've been in and different things I've started and supported over the years, but it's very important to me. I think it's important to most Americans, and I know in Arkansas it's very important to people. And I think one of the challenges in politics, if you think about it, so much of politics is man trying to solve man's problems, and a lot of it is so temporal. And I was reading actually in the Bible this morning, believe it or not, where we talk about boasting. How many times does the Bible tell us not to boast? But think about all the boasting that goes on in politics. I can fix this. I did this. I'm the best. I mean, we probably need some more humility. And what I would love to see in Washington, I'd love to see us do a much better job of following the simple teachings of Jesus, like the Golden Rule. If we would just say, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, and really apply that, politics would be radically different in this country today.
Mark Pryor on the Brody File. Back in a moment with the Oy Vey Moment of the Week.
Do you have an idea for an invention or a new product? Brian and Alice Jagosh, the inventors of the halftime drill driver, did. They invented a power drill attachment that lets you drill, flip, and drive in seconds. Brian and Alice licensed their invention to the company that brought you the Snuggie, and it's now selling in major retailers nationwide. Look for the Invent Help Caveman on the package. If you have an invention that you would like to try to patent and submit to companies for possible review and want free information on how InventHelp may be able to assist you, call now. InventHelp is America's largest inventor service company with sales offices in more than 60 cities nationwide. Call InventHelp today for free information. Our clients made a financial gain with their invention, but this is just their individual result. Brian and Alice's experience is not typical, as only a very small number of inventions are licensed or sold in stores.
For your free inventors information, call 1-800-559-8567. That's 1-800-559-8567.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
And welcome back to the Brody File. All right, we're going to burn some money, and we're also going to do this week's Oy Vey Moment of the Week. All right. Oh, sorry, you caught me there. Look, a Canadian radio station decided to create a new promotion where listeners got a chance to bank it or burn it. All right, so this is what happens. The audience texts or uses social media to decide whether or not to bank $5,000 or burn it. Well, 54% of listeners decided burn it. Here, the radio host seemed to lament the decision.
In the very first edition of Bank It or Burn It in Calgary, Calgary voted to burn $5,000.
All right, well, look, here at the Brody File, we came up with a short list of things you could have done with $5,000. I mean, you could adopt and care for an abandoned puppy for a year. You could have purchased 300 copies of my book. Anyhow, you could also buy 15,000 packs of ramen noodles. Yummy. Anyhow, the point is you could have done a lot with the money. I don't know, you could donate to a deserving charity, maybe donate it to the Brody File weekly budget. We could use the money, believe me. All better options than burning it. By the way, it gets worse. That radio station plans to run the promotion again with $10,000. So much for the notion that radio is a dying medium. The folks at AMP Radio seem to have money to burn. Hey. That does it for this week. Until next time, everybody, God bless. I don't know what I'm saying. Have a great week.